Kia ora koutou, Markie here. I'm being upstaged already by a horny pigeon trying to impress a mate. So I don't want to make too much of this, but I thought it was interesting. Oh, I'm distracted already. There's a coot. Let's see if I can show you him. Gathering nest building material. I think he's hiding again now. There he is. Has he got a stick here? A big stick? I'm not sure. I think he's dropped it now. He was just trying to sabotage my video, wasn't he? So, like I say, I don't want to make too much of this, but I thought it was very interesting that one of the channels that I follow, HG Tudor, of which I've done a few videos featuring this channel. There's actually a playlist, I think, because I've done a few. Has made a reference, an oblique reference to retroactive jealousy, not by name but by nature, and this kind of confirms, or doesn't confirm it, reinforces a belief, a theory that myself and my retroactive jealousy therapy team have held for a little while, that there is often a crossover or a correlation between retroactive jealousy and narcissism. Okay. Now, I've done other videos on narcissism that talk a little bit more about what we mean by that. So by narcissism, usually when I use the term, I'm referring to kind of clinical narcissism, which is quite a severe presentation, which is actually a personality disorder. Not just somebody that, takes a lot of selfies. But of course, there's a spectrum with all of these things. We all are probably narcissistic to some degree, just by nature of our consciousness and our humanity. But some people are much more narcissistic than others. And I've always felt that retroactive jealousy is, by nature, really, is a narcissistic thing, because we feel in narcissism. One of the things about narcissism is where we feel like the people around us are our property, or they're kind of appliances or appendages or resources that belong to us. And jealousy is very tied in with jealousy in general is very tied in with narcissism. But this kind of belief that this expectation that your loved one should not only be monogamous and faithful to you in the present, but should have been so in the past as well. It's an unrealistic, irrational belief, but it's got a narcissistic kind of flavour to it, at the very least. The other thing that myself and my team have talked about, that we've all noticed, is that often people with retroactive jealousy are the children of narcissists or of a narcissist. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because I've covered it in other videos. So there's a whole playlist for retroactive jealousy videos. There's a playlist for narcissism, I believe, and there's a playlist for HG Tudor. But just to put things into context and talk about this video, which I watched today. I think it came out today, but it could have come out yesterday. So HG Tudor is someone who runs a YouTube channel mainly about narcissism, although I think he might have actually 2 or maybe even 3 channels, one of which talks a little bit more about psychopathy as well. There's an overlap between the two, and he's diagnosed as both, and has done an awful lot of research and come up with his own ideas and theories around what he calls narcissism, but would be the same thing as narcissistic personality disorder if we're going to get clinical about it. And although his theories aren't from academia, they're not peer reviewed, they're not evidence based, I think he's on the money. I think he knows what he's talking about, and I've talked a bit more about that in some of the other videos. But in this video, at just past the 13-minute mark, he's talking about Prince Harry and his wife, who everyone seems to call Meghan Markle for some reason, but she's not Meghan Markle. She's Meghan Windsor, It's like everyone carried on calling everyone kept saying Princess Diana Spencer when she was Diana Windsor. But there we go, that's an aside. He talks about Meghan Markle, I'm doing it now. He talks about Meghan Windsor, Duchess of Sussex, quite a lot, because he has got a lot of evidence to suggest that she's narcissistic and quite kind of typical in a lot of her narcissistic behaviours, and uses her as an example. That's a very controversial one because there are people that love her and people that hate her. And also there's allegations of racism behind the hatred as well, and that kind of thing. And he's very keen to point out that he doesn't particularly hate her, he doesn't like her either, but she's a very good model for narcissism, very good to talk about. And of course she's that nature of her being controversial is going to mean lots of traffic on his channel as well. Can't blame him for that. So it's talking about how Harry, he's been in court. He's always in court, isn't he? And he was, I believe, trying to make a case against the media having obtained information about him through illicit and illegal means. There's a little coot there, come to join in the fun. Oh, he's gone behind the bank. So he was in court, and he made a statement apparently that he'd never had a friendship or any friendships with members of the press. And then, but what happens, of course, when you put your head above the parapet, and particularly if you put yourself in a legal situation, people dig around, and they found that he had some communion of some kind with a member of the press. There's that coot. Oh, it's another one that's got a nest building. Let me just show you. Can you see that huge stick? You might be forgiven for thinking it's a coot that thinks it's a dog. You can see the nest there as well, look. That's his nest, or her nest. So nest building in action. See, I'm wasted really doing this stuff. I'm a wildlife photographer, aren't I? I'm just putting the camera in the air because someone was walking past. I don't like to breach people's privacy. So a coot building a nest live. So if you're not interested in the topic, you can enjoy that. I'll keep the camera on there for a while. So they basically uncovered some emails between him and a third party who's a member of the press, and the emails are quite flirty. And allude to some possible liaison. It's not specific, but it kind of suggests that maybe they got it on to some degree or other. And H.G. Tudor was, among other things, commenting. So he's talking about the court case and the overall situation. Again, I'm going up in the air because someone's walking past. Don't want to film people. And he was talking about how he strongly suspects that Meghan, if she conforms to the kind of normal narcissistic behaviours and patterns, would struggle with hearing details of a past liaison of Harry's. And one of the things that H.G. Tudor says is that past liaisons can feel as serious as present liaisons with a partner. So, which effectively that's describing retroactive jealousy, although it's describing a retroactive jealousy response rather. We've got another little friend come to see us now. I'll show you here. This is the mummy or the daddy of lots of little babies that I actually filmed earlier. I'll put that video out later, but we'll just show you the parent bird. They come to see me because I'm always feeding them, so this is probably quite annoyed with me for not feeding him or her. So let's be clear, he's not saying that Meghan Windsor, aka Meghan Markle, suffers with retroactive jealousy. He's not even using the term retroactive jealousy. He's not saying that all narcissists have retroactive jealousy, but he's saying that a tendency towards that kind of thinking is common among narcissists. So does that mean that every person with retroactive jealousy is narcissistic to some degree or other? No. And honestly, we don't know because we haven't done, the research. We've got kind of clinical information that we can draw on and theorize about, but we haven't, he's going into the distance now, so I'll take you back to Cootie, who's back on the nest. But it is interesting that there does seem to be an overlap with retroactive jealousy and narcissism, and that it's been observed and alluded to publicly by somebody that, in my opinion, knows a great deal about narcissism and knows what he's talking about. Sorry, I'm going off the focus there for the nest. So we can't make too much of this, like I say. Sadly, we still don't have much research on retroactive jealousy. People are conducting stuff even as we speak. So over time, there'll be more and more research. We're pretty sure that retroactive jealousy is a form of obsessive compulsive disorder of the kind sometimes referred to as PUO, which is more kind of intrusive thought based than behaviour based. But that distinction is a little bit more blurry than some people would have you believe. Again, we've talked about that in other videos. So none of this makes sense. You don't know what retroactive jealousy is. Check out the playlist on retroactive jealousy. If you don't know who HD Tudor is and you want to find out more, check out the video on, check out my playlist on HD Tudor. I'm going to go up in the air again. I'm going to pan out a little bit maybe as well. And if you want to watch this video, if you want to watch this video that I'm referring to, I will put a link to it in the description. If it's not there straight away, it's because I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. Okay, so don't get on my case. I'm a busy man. Well, I'm not that busy at the moment, but I haven't been in great health, so things have been tricky. So it may not be done immediately, but I will put a link to it, and it's just past the 13-minute mark. I'll mention that in the description box as well, where he makes this allusion. Now, this probably won't be of much interest to people who don't have an interest in retroactive jealousy or narcissism. But if you're interested in both, if you're interested in psychology, you're interested in retroactive jealousy, then hopefully that will be of interest. And like I say, this isn't in isolation. This confirms what myself and my colleagues have all come to the conclusion of, that often there is a correlation. Often that people with retroactive jealousy are narcissistic. Not always, and not always to a clinical degree, not always to the level where they can be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. There's something in my left-hand corner of my screen, but this is something that would be good to do some proper research on at some point in the future. Now, if you have retroactive jealousy, give some serious thought as to whether narcissism might be part of the picture. Narcissism is actually very hard to self-identify, because a lot of the symptoms of narcissism are that you think you're perfect. So not that many people go around saying, "Oh, I think I'm narcissistic. I think I'm a narcissist." It's very rare. I've actually done a video on that as well, inviting people to be courageous and to take a very good, honest look at themselves, and have that courage and that honesty to consider the possibility and look at the factors that might indicate that they're narcissistic. If you are narcissistic, it doesn't mean it's not the end of the world. It's many people are. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, and it's something that you can get help with and talk about. Okay, and if you've got retroactive jealousy, that's something that can be treated as well. And I'm not practicing it just at the moment, but my colleagues are, So if you want help with retroactive jealousy or with anything that you would go to any psychotherapist or counsellor for, my team can help you. So let me know. Best way to contact me is through the website, link in the description, or you can just send me a message, leave me a message in the comments. So check out that video, see what you think, and what are your thoughts on, I got a knackered old camera mobile phone case, and the corner of it is bending over and getting in front of the screen. Everything in my life is old and broken and falling apart at the moment. It's a strange time, but then I guess maybe when things die off, they can grow in you, can't they? So maybe that's going to happen. So let me know what you think, and as I pan the camera up into skywards, I will see you in the next one. Rangimarie.